For centuries, it has stood as the ultimate symbol of love, a marble masterpiece that almost anyone on Earth can recognize. But for decades now, a very different story has been swirling around the Taj Mahal, one that questions its entire origin story. So today, we're going to dive right into the heart of this huge controversy. Okay, let's just cut to the chase. The whole debate boils down to this one question. Is the Taj Mahal the tomb that Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan built for his beloved wife, Mumtaz Mahal, or is it actually a much, much older Hindu temple? So you've got two competing identities here. On one side, we have the history we all know, the Taj Mahal, this incredible icon of Indo-Islamic architecture. But on the other side, there's the alternate theory, which claims its original name was Taj Mahalaya, a temple built for the Hindu god Lord Shiva. These two ideas are at the center of a really fierce historical debate. Right, so let's really break down what this theory is saying. The core claim isn't just that the Taj Mahal was built on the site of a temple. No, the claim is that the building you see today is the temple, which was supposedly seized and just repurposed by Shah Jahan, with its true identity basically hidden in plain sight. The people who believe the Taj Mahalaya theory, well, they point to a few key things. They argue that it was a Shiva temple, that features like the domes are actually Hindu symbols, and this is the big one, that there are 22 sealed rooms inside that are hiding Hindu idols and Shiva lingams. They even say that carbon dating proves the building was there centuries before Shah Jahan was even born. So a big question is, where did this idea even come from? I mean, it's believed by millions of people today. So let's trace it back to its single source. Turns out this entire theory can be traced back to one single person, Purushottam Nagesh Oak. Back in 1964, he started an organization called the Institute for Rewriting Indian History. And, well, that's exactly what he tried to do. And he wasn't just some fringe figure. He was educated, he presented himself as a historian, and his work got a lot of traction. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because this slide gives you some crucial context. Oak's claim about the Taj wasn't a one-off thing. He had this core belief that pretty much every major monument in the world, we're talking everything from the Qutub Minar in Delhi to Vatican City, and even the Kaaba in Mecca, were all originally Hindu temples that were just taken over. The Taj Mahal was just the most famous one on his list. All right, so let's do this. Let's take a closer look at the main claims of the theory and hold them up against the documented historical and archaeological records. The most fascinating part of this whole theory has always been these 22 sealed rooms. For years, they've been this huge mystery. What secrets could actually be locked away in there? The people who supported this theory, including some who took it all the way to court, were absolutely convinced that if you opened those doors, you'd find the ultimate proof. Ancient Hindu idols, Shiva lingams, carvings, everything you'd need to finally validate the Taj Mahalaya theory. But when the Archaeological Survey of India, or the ASI, finally released official photos from inside those very rooms, the reality was, well, something else entirely. The photos just showed bare sandstone walls, simple arches, and totally empty hallways. See, they weren't secret chambers hiding treasure. They were just part of the foundation's design, basically maintenance passages. Okay, so another really key part of the theory has to do with the land itself. And to understand the documents, you need to know this one word, Haveli. A Haveli is a royal mansion or a big, grand, private home. Just keep that word in mind. And this chart just lays out the difference between the claim and the actual records so clearly. The theory claims a temple was stolen from Raja Jai Singh. The documents show that land, which had a Haveli on it, was officially acquired from him. The theory calls it a robbery. The records show it was a royal deal where the Raja got 4 other Havelis in exchange. And while some people claim there are no documents, the royal decree for the whole exchange, it's called a farman, is still safely preserved today in the Jaipur City Palace archives. But hang on, what about the science? I mean, the claim that a piece of wood from a door was carbon dated to be 300 years older than Shah Jahan's reign, that sounds like pretty solid evidence, right? Well, that scientific claim has a few, let's say, major issues. First off, the professor who actually ran the test himself said the result was not conclusive. Second, carbon dating only tells you when the tree was cut down, not when the wood was actually used. It's totally possible they used older, salvaged wood. Plus, one tiny sample is just not enough to date a gigantic monument. And finally, we have records of repairs being made as early as 1652, so the door that sample came from could have easily been a much later replacement. All right, so now that we've really looked at the claims of the theory, let's turn the page and look at the documented, established history of how this incredible monument was actually created. You know, the historical records are amazingly detailed. Mumtaz Mahal died in 1631, and construction started just a year later. And this was a massive project. It took 22 years to finish. The main tomb itself took about a decade, and the whole complex was finally done in 1653. And this wasn't some simple renovation project. We're talking about a workforce of over 20,000 artisans brought in from all over Persia, Central Asia, and India, all led by the chief architect, Ustad Ahmed Lahori. They used over 1,000 elephants just to haul the building materials, like the white marble that had to be brought from 400 kilometers away. And the cost? It was just staggering. Records from that time put the final bill at around 5 million rupees, which was an absolutely astronomical amount of money in the 17th century. It was so expensive, in fact, that it reportedly put a serious financial strain on the entire Mughal treasury. Okay, so if the evidence for its construction is so overwhelming, if the records are all there, why does this Taj Mahal theory refuse to go away? Why does it still have so much power? You know, part of the reason is because there is some historical precedent. It is a documented fact that some Mughal rulers did build mosques on the sites of destroyed temples. So it's natural for people to ask, well, if it happened there, why not at the Taj? But here's the crucial difference. For the Taj Mahal, there is a complete lack of evidence. Unlike those other sites, there are no records, no mention in any historical accounts, and, really importantly, no living tradition of people ever worshiping at that spot. And maybe the most definitive takedown of the theory comes from a man named K.K. Muhammad, a former director of the Archaeological Survey of India. Now, this is the very same archaeologist whose work was crucial in proving a temple existed under the Babri Masjid. His credibility is immense. And about the Taj, he is crystal clear. I was in charge. I have gone to all those parts. These are absolutely false stories. In the end, it really all boils down to what history actually is, right? While faith and belief are incredibly powerful forces, the historical record has to be built on things that are verifiable. As one of our sources puts it so well, history is not written by faith, it's written by facts. And that leaves us with one last, much bigger question to think about. In a time when stories about the past can be so easily shaped for political reasons, the controversy around the Taj Mahal kind of forces us to ask, how do we protect our shared history from becoming just another weapon in the game of modern politics?